Everyone, Chris here with Clutter Reduction Junk Removal in Southeast Florida. This house may seem kind of familiar. We are back here again. This is where I used to work on my trailer when I first bought it. If you remember this spot specifically, I had my trailer parked right here. The bushes weren't trimmed, so it was a little bit tighter of a fit there, but it would have been nice now to work in it. I just wanted to point out something that made me feel a little bit better about myself and my business, and that was dealing with this business. We're trying to get a shed relocated from one house to this house, and it's like literally like a street over. And I don't know how my brother dealt with it before he left to go out of town, but I'm dealing with it now, and it's a pain in the butt. Like trying to get in contact with them and get a reply and get a confirmation for when they're gonna come out. Like their communication is just not that great, and their scheduling and like keeping me in the loop of what's going on and answering my questions, it's very difficult. And I was thinking about it, and I was like, those are all things I make it a point to do. Like we try to stay on top of stuff. We do follow-up calls. I do ETA calls. I will do a very specific 30-minute ETA unless I'm driving really far, maybe sometimes 45 minutes. But I wait for, like, I will sit there with my thumb on my phone, waiting for my alarm to go off 30 minutes before that says, send ETA call. And then I'll hit it, call the person, and say, hey, it's Chris with Clutter Reduction Junk Removal. Just letting you know we're on our way. We will be there at 9 o'clock. And I do that like religiously. And it was 9:27. This guy's supposed to be here at 9:30. I'm over here waiting. It's cold outside. It's like 64 degrees for some reason and clear skies. The sun's not even touching me because there's a trailer in the way. And it's 9:27 and I'm like, this guy was supposed to call me when he's on his way. What's going on? Like, am I just waiting here for no reason? Like I had to drive 40 minutes to get out here. I had to push off a job until later. Like, why are you guys not calling me like you said? And I was getting ready to call them and be like, hey, 9:27, your guy's not here. I pushed off a job to be here. Is he coming? That's all I want to know. Luckily, he showed up at 9:31, even though he hadn't seen the first shed yet. And I was like, that's like, why not call me? You have my number. Call me and say, hey, I'm gonna go look at the first shed. I'm gonna be there at 9:30. I'll be to you like 9:45. No problem. I don't even know if he's coming back here. I don't know if he's just going to look at the shed. He didn't communicate that to me. And I just find that to be kind of crazy, because like, you're leaving me in the dark and we're the ones paying to have this done. And this may be a potential expensive move. And like, I'm in the dark. I don't understand how that works. So it made me feel better knowing that like we take the time to schedule people and confirm with them, and you know, we'll check in with them, and if they didn't answer their phone, I text them, you know, whatever we can do. And dealing with them for scheduling, like they were supposed to be coming out today. Today's Wednesday. And they were supposed to call me back on Monday of this week when they get back in their office. And I never heard from them. And I text my brother because he's out of the country, not just out of the town. So they're on like Wi-Fi basically. So I messaged him and I'm like, hey, I never heard from this company. Like they're supposed to come Wednesday, right? And he's like, reach out to them first. Okay. Reach out to them, goes to voicemail, says that they are out of the office until January 2nd. And I was like, okay, well, today's like the 7th, so you should be in office. And so I leave a voicemail, and then it says to text as well. So I text, and I heard back from them like 7 hours later. And I'm like, dude, you guys are supposed to be coming tomorrow. And it's currently 2 o'clock in the afternoon, and you're telling me that you're just now getting back to me. And they said, we have a guy in the area that can go out right now. And I'm like, well, I'm not in the area. We told you Wednesday, and that's what we had confirmed on. So just a whole mess just to have somebody come out to look at something to be like, yes or no. This is what I would call making your customer work for you. And that's annoying. So I'm glad we don't do that. And if we ever have done that, I'm sorry, but I don't think we've ever had to do the extent of that. So just good to know. I've also, just thinking about it, we were in Georgia for a family matter not too long ago, and we were trying to get some junk removal quotes. We actually had jack of all trades, Andre, come out, and unfortunately my brothers are kind of cheap, so I don't think he got the job, or if he did, I never heard about it. But we were trying to call other companies in the area to get an idea for a few different projects we were working on, and the amount of like unanswered calls and people calling and asking like one question, and like, it's not even like a general question. It's like very just, I don't know. And they just, nothing. Like, we called like 5 or 6 places. I called like 4 junk removal companies that were within an hour. Like, it's not like here where you have like 100 of them in one city. Like, they're spread out a little bit, but they service our county. And I was like, hey, I left voicemails and I text, because I know a lot of companies take text. I reached out to some small businesses thinking I have like better luck. Complete opposite. Reach out to a couple of big franchises, and like they would get back to us like 2 days later, which I thought was crazy for a call center. So I don't know, but it's crazy to think like how much attention to detail like you're taught to have for business, and then what people actually have. And it just makes so much more sense now when people used to tell me like, I love the fact that you're on time and you even call it ahead of time. Service companies never do that. You know, you always see people complaining about service companies doing this, service companies doing that, and it's just always such a nightmare. And I used to always think like, are there really that many of them? Because like I've never had a problem, and I'm just a one guy. Like I'm doing the jobs, I'm doing the marketing, I'm doing the bookkeeping, I'm doing the paperwork and the invoices, I'm sending the thank you cards, I'm doing all the social media. Like if I can do it, surely somebody with a team of 5, 6, 7, 8 people can easily do it. I think some people just don't. I found that to be crazy. So I just wanted to put that out there. And then there's a guy in our networking group who is on the newer side. He does digital marketing and website design, and he has a like one of those like English accents, and I wanted to have him on the YouTube channel like as a live to do like an interview for questions. And I was basically just gonna ask him, you know, some general questions about, you know, like digital marketing, website design, SEO, stuff like that, things that most of us would probably want to know, and then ask him to give a couple of tidbits of information, some little pieces of interest that could be useful, just a couple here and there. And then if you guys decide you want to use him for services, you know, they work with people all around the country, and they work for some pretty big companies too. So I want to have him on the channel sometime in the next month. But if you guys can throw down questions in the comments that I can ask him, then that would be great, just so I have something to use when I run out of questions, because it's going to be a little bit more of a chatty thing going forward, and then we'll get into the YouTube video afterwards. So I'll just be kind of shooting the shit with him for the most part, and then we'll go ahead and do like a live feed and ask questions. But if you have any specific SEO questions or website design questions or like social media traction, things like that, comment that down and try to be as specific as possible, and I can try to get him to answer those. So that's pretty much it. I just wanted to share that I feel like we're all doing good out here with our businesses. I know a lot of people in junk removal now through YouTube, and they do their business the same way we do, and they take the same level of care. And I just want to say that I think we're all doing a great job, because dealing with these people sometimes is the complete opposite. So at least we know we're doing what we need to be doing. But that's pretty much it. I'm gonna make use of this time and actually stop by a senior living facility that's right out front of his neighborhood, and go ahead and market to them. I think it's a place I've already been to, but they changed the name, and usually when they do that, they change the staff too. So they probably don't know who I am, and we're gonna go market there and see if I can drop off some brochures. So we'll see you guys all next time.